A completely yellow, opaque, disgusting headlight. You can barely see through it. A white paste gets smeared across the surface. A rag wipes it off 3 seconds later, and the plastic is crystal clear. Perfectly transparent. Like the day it rolled off the factory floor. That transformation cost exactly $1. $1 from your bathroom cabinet. And it just saved you from failing your next safety inspection. I am not exaggerating. I am not selling you anything. What you are about to watch is a chemical process that the auto industry has spent decades making sure you never figure out. Because if you do, their entire headlight restoration racket collapses overnight. Welcome to the Buried Blueprint, the channel that pulls corporate secrets out of the dark and hands them directly to you. If you care about what they are hiding, hit subscribe and the notification bell right now. Because this information gets buried fast, and you need to be here when the next one drops. Let me show you exactly what is happening to your car right now. Look at your headlights. If they are yellow, if they look foggy, milky, or cloudy, your mechanic already has a target on your back. Because that visual imperfection, that harmless-looking yellow haze, is now the #1 reason mechanics flag a vehicle during a safety inspection. Not a bad engine, not worn brakes, foggy headlights. And the moment they flag it, the extraction begins. They tell you the oxidation has compromised your beam projection. They tell you your night visibility is dangerously reduced. They show you charts, they show you tests, they use words like photometric compliance and beam scatter degradation, and then they hand you 2 options. Option 1, a so-called professional headlight restoration for $150. Option 2, full housing replacement, $800 per headlight, sometimes more. Here is the part your mechanic is hiding. That professional restoration kit they are charging you $150 for contains the same micro-abrasive chemistry you can replicate for a single dollar using 2 things already sitting in your bathroom, right? Now, the markup is 15,000%, not a typo. 15,000% profit on a product they convinced you requires professional expertise and specialized equipment. But stay with me. Because the real crime is not the markup. The real crime is how deliberately the auto industry has structured the inspection system to make this a recurring revenue stream. Your headlights oxidize every few years. That is unavoidable. UV radiation from sunlight degrades polycarbonate plastic over time. That is chemistry. That is physics. That is inevitable. And the industry knows this. Which means every 2 to 4 years, they have a built-in excuse to fail your car and extract another $150 from your pocket. Multiply that across every registered vehicle in America. We are talking about a multi-billion-dollar machine built entirely on the fact that you do not know what toothpaste does to oxidized plastic. The auto restoration industry did not invent this chemistry. They stole it, rebranded it, marked it up by 15,000%, and sold it back to you in a plastic kit with a warning label that says "Do not attempt without professional supervision." That warning label exists for one reason: to keep you afraid, to keep you paying. But watch closely what happens next. Before I give you the exact formula and the step-by-step technique, I need to tell you something important. This headlight secret is just the beginning. The complete Buried Blueprint vault is linked in the description right now. Inside that vault, you will find dozens of classified home survival and DIY guides covering everything from stopping structural rust permanently for $3 to eliminating toxic black mold without a single chemical product, to cutting your energy bill in half using a material that costs $4 at any hardware store. These are not tips. These are complete, suppressed guides that industries actively work to keep off mainstream platforms. The link is in the description. Go there after this video. But stay right here, because exactly how you apply this changes everything. The technique is everything. Get it wrong, and you will scratch the lens. Get it right, and you get a result that looks like a professional machine polish. All right, here is the reveal. The solution is not a product, it is not a kit. It is not something you order online and wait 3 days for. It is baking soda and white toothpaste. That is it. 2 things. Combined into a paste that costs approximately $1 total and performs at the same chemical level as anything a restoration shop will charge you $150 to apply. Now let me explain why this works. Because understanding the science is what separates someone who does this once and gets a mediocre result from someone who does this and gets a result so clear their neighbor accuses them of buying new headlights. You're foggy. Headlight is not dirty. Dirt washes off. What you are looking at is oxidation. The outermost microscopic layer of the polycarbonate lens has been chemically degraded by ultraviolet radiation. The UV light has literally broken down the polymer chains on the surface of the plastic, creating a rough, yellowed, dead layer of material sitting on top of the healthy, clear lens underneath. That dead layer is what is scattering your headlight beam and causing the cloudy appearance. It is not deep, It is not structural, it is a surface phenomenon, usually only a few microns thick. But it is physically bonded to the lens, which means water will not remove it. Soap will not remove it. Standard cleaning products will not touch it. Commercial restoration kits solve this problem with sandpaper. Wet sandpaper, starting at 400 grit, moving up through progressively finer grits, physically sanding the dead layer off the surface. This works, but here is the critical problem with sandpaper. Even the finest wet sandpaper leaves microscopic scratches in the polycarbonate. Those scratches are what cause headlights to reoxidize significantly faster after a commercial kit restoration. You strip the dead layer, but you leave behind a battlefield of micro scratches that become new anchor points for UV degradation. The industry loves this, because it means you are back in the shop in 12 to 18 months instead of 3 to 4 years. The baking soda and toothpaste paste is fundamentally different. And this is the part the auto industry absolutely does not want you to understand. Toothpaste contains hydrated silica. This is an ultra-fine abrasive compound, specifically engineered to remove material at a microscopic level without leaving scratches on the surface beneath. It is the reason toothpaste cleans enamel without destroying it. Enamel is one of the hardest biological substances on Earth, and toothpaste removes staining and buildup from it daily without leaving scratch marks you can see or feel. Hydrated silica operates at a particle size so fine that it physically shears material at the molecular surface level, not the structural level. Baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, adds a second dimension to this process. It is a mild alkaline compound with a Mohs hardness of approximately 2.5. That is harder than the dead UV oxidized surface layer, but significantly softer than the healthy polycarbonate beneath it. Which means when you combine baking soda with the hydrated silica in toothpaste, you create a dual-action micro-abrasive paste that is precisely calibrated to remove exactly the layer you need to remove and stop precisely at the point where healthy, clear plastic begins. It does not just cover the damage. It permanently removes the dead UV layer while leaving the structural integrity of the lens completely intact, with no new scratch anchor points for reoxidation. The result lasts significantly longer than a commercial kit restoration. This is the part that would collapse the headlight restoration market if it became common knowledge. Now here is exactly how you do it. Follow every step precisely. First, gather your materials. You need a box of standard baking soda, any brand, available at every grocery store in America for under $1. You need a tube of plain white toothpaste. This is critical. It must be white paste, not gel. Gel toothpaste does not contain adequate hydrated silica concentration for this application. Do not use whitening gel. Do not use the blue striped kind. Do not use anything that is primarily a transparent gel, plain white paste only. You also need a clean microfiber cloth, or in a pinch, a clean cotton rag, and a bowl to mix in. Step 1. Make sure the headlight surface is dry. Do not apply this to a wet headlight. The oxidized layer needs to be dry for the abrasive paste to make direct contact with the surface material. If the car is wet, dry the headlights completely before you begin. Step 2. In your bowl, combine 2 full tablespoons of baking soda with a heavy squeeze of white toothpaste. You want approximately equal volumes of each. Mix them together aggressively until you have a thick, gritty paste with no dry baking soda clumps remaining. The consistency you are looking for is somewhere between peanut butter and wet cement. Thick enough to stay on a vertical surface without dripping. Step 3. Using your fingers or a spoon, apply the paste generously to the entire surface of the headlight. Cover every yellow and cloudy area with a thick, even coating. Do not be shy with it. Full coverage matters. Step 4. This is the critical step. Using your microfiber cloth, begin rubbing the paste into the lens using tight, firm circular motions. Not back and forth, circles. The circular motion ensures that you are engaging the abrasive action in every direction simultaneously, which produces a uniform removal of the dead layer rather than directional scratch patterns. Apply meaningful pressure. This is not a gentle polish. You are physically shearing off an oxidized layer of material. You need to work the paste into the surface with intention. Maintain the circular motion for a full 60 seconds on each section of the lens. If your headlight is large, work in sections. Step 5. Watch the paste as you work. This is your real-time progress indicator. The paste will start to change color. It will go from white to slightly yellow, and then to a progressively darker brown. That brown color is the oxidized material being lifted off the lens. When the paste turns brown, it means the process is working exactly as it should. The darker it gets, the more oxidation you have removed. Step 6. Once you have worked every section for at least 60 seconds with firm circular pressure, rinse the entire headlight thoroughly with a hose. Not a dripping tap. Use real water pressure to flush every trace of paste out of the edges, the crevices, and the seal lines around the headlight housing. Any paste residue left to dry on the surface or in the seals can cause long-term irritation to the rubber gaskets. Step 7. Dry the headlight completely with a clean, dry cloth. And look at the result. The difference is immediate and dramatic. The yellow is gone, the cloudiness is gone. The polycarbonate beneath that dead oxidized layer has been exposed, and it is clear, smooth, and functional. Your beam is no longer scattered. Your night visibility is restored. And your headlight will now pass a safety inspection without a single argument. One final step that takes this from good to exceptional. If you have access to a spray can of UV protective clear coat, available at any auto parts store for $3 to $5, apply a thin coat over the cleaned headlight surface and allow it to cure. This creates a UV barrier that significantly slows the reoxidation process and extends the clarity you just restored. Without the clear coat, you will likely need to repeat this process in 12 to 18 months. With the clear coat, you are looking at 2 to 3 years before any visible oxidation returns. That is the complete process. From start to finish, less than 10 minutes. $1 in materials. Possibly $2 if you buy the clear coat. The mechanic who tried to charge you $150 for the exact same result has already moved on to the next customer who does not know what you now know. The shop that quoted you $800 per housing for a replacement has already forgotten your name because you were supposed to pay. That is how the system works. That is how the system has always worked. Let us be clear about the numbers, because the numbers tell the whole story. The baking soda costs under $1. The toothpaste you already own. The microfiber cloth you already own. Your total out-of-pocket cost to restore both headlights on your vehicle is approximately $1. $1. The national average for a professional headlight restoration at a shop is between $150 and $200. If your mechanic recommended full housing replacement, you were looking at $800 to $1,600 for both. The markup on that restoration service is not modest. It is not reasonable. It is not a reflection of specialized skill or proprietary technology. It is a direct consequence of the fact that you never knew this $1 paste existed. The auto inspection industry prays every single day that this information stays buried. They pray it stays off mainstream channels. They pray it stays difficult to find. Because the moment every car owner in America knows that baking soda and toothpaste is the same chemistry they charge $150 to apply, the headlight restoration market disappears. Gone. Overnight. The multi-billion-dollar machine that depends on your ignorance does not survive contact with this information. So here is what you do now. First, share this video. Text it to every person you know who has ever paid a mechanic for a headlight restoration. Post it to every car group, every neighborhood app, every forum where real people are being extracted from by this system. The only thing keeping this information suppressed is a lack of distribution. You are the distribution now. Second, subscribe to the Buried Blueprint and hit the notification bell, because what is coming next is even heavier. Third, check the link in the description. The complete Buried Blueprint vault is live right now, and it contains dozens of guides exactly like this one. Suppressed solutions, buried knowledge, cheap fixes to expensive problems that industries have spent serious money to keep you from discovering. You came here today because a yellow headlight was costing you money. You are leaving with the exact chemistry, the exact technique, and the full understanding of why you were being charged 150 times the actual cost of the solution. That knowledge is yours now. They cannot take it back. Share it before they try. The next blueprint opens soon, and what is inside is even